Hey, said I want come test me. Pick two rap with a sling might lick off a med like a man from Jesse. Heard that they talking that big talk, lip off, which God, listen, don't vex me. I'ma stand for the Father perpetually, definitely big man, don't get chesty. Any weapon they form, don't stress me. Hey, I'm an Israelite child, no destiny. Separated, he chose and select me. In his ring, he clothed and he dressed me. Look without him, my soul will be empty. To the Lord of the hosts, I confess thee. I don't do this for sport or for trendies. Disrespect it'll only get messy. Yeah, they could never take hold of my faith. I'ma stand with my sword at the gate. Holiness to the Lord on the plate. See your idols ain't holding no weight. I ain't here trying to hold no debate. See my God ain't no soul to replace. Disrespecting a stone in your face. Look, you must be a fool to
Kwame Asharala.
Kwame Asharala.
Kwame Asharala.
Kwame Asharala.
Kwame Asharala.
Kwame Asharala.
God. So we got a lot of people out here that say that they know how to pray to the Most High. And today I'm going to show you how to actually pray to the Most High.
Bring it out.
So let me get the book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse number 10. And let me get the book of 1 Kings, 8:44.
Bring it out, King.
Ready? Bring that out, King. Daniel chapter 6, verse number 10.
Book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse 10.
Bring it out.
Now when Daniel knew that the writings were signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chambers towards Jerusalem.
Towards where?
Towards Jerusalem.
Exactly. So that's exactly what we're supposed to be praying towards. We're supposed to be praying towards Jerusalem,
Right.
the holy city.
He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day.
Three times a what?
3 times a day.
So when we hear people saying, oh, I pray once a day, I pray twice a day. No. If you look at Daniel, he even prayed 3 times a day.
Right.
Praying as many times as a day as you can
God.
is actually the best way to pray.
God.
You really think?
And prayed and gave thanks before his God. And as he did aforetime. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God.
They're making what?
And making supplications before his God.
So exactly, Daniel made supplications before his God. So Daniel prayed about the things that he actually needed before the God of Israel. Bring that up, King.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 44.
Bring it out.
If thy people go out to battle against their enemy, whithersoever you shall send them, and shall pray unto the Lord toward the city which thou hast chosen.
Towards the city which thou hast chosen.
So that's another account showing you that you're supposed to pray towards the city which thou hast chosen, which is Jerusalem.
Right.
Which is the holy city that we should be praying towards.
Right.
You ready, King?
And toward the house that I have built.
And towards
for
what?
thy name.
And towards the house I have built
for thy name.
for thy name.
So we're supposed to be praying towards the house that was built for thy name, for the name of God.
Right.
So let me get the book of 2 Chronicles 3 and 1.
This is the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Then Solomon began to build the house of the Lord.
And Solomon what?
And Solomon began to build the house of the Lord.
Exactly. So Solomon began to build the house of the Lord. Let's see where.
At Jerusalem.
At where?
At Jerusalem.
So that's where that house of the Lord is that we should be praying towards. Is at Jerusalem, the holy city. Because Solomon knew to build that house because of his father and left him out the blueprint so that he could build that house towards the Lord. You ready, King?
Mount Moriah, where the Lord appeared unto David, his father.
Where the what?
Where the Lord appeared unto David.
Father.
See that? David, his father, spoke to the Lord, and that's where he appeared. Where he appeared at. So that's where he left the blueprints for Solomon, his son, to build that house unto the Lord.
Right.
Can you read it, King?
In the place that David had prepared in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite.
Go ahead, rest right there. Go ahead and bring that up here.
The Psalms chapter 138 verse 2.
Bring it out.
I will worship toward thy holy temple.
What?
I will worship toward thy holy temple.
So this is another account showing you that you're supposed to worship towards the holy temple. And where is that? That's in the east. Anywhere that you are is going to be the east of you, because that's where the holy temple is.
And praise thy name for thy loving kindness and for thy truth. For thou hast magnified thy word above thy name. In the day when I cried, thou answerest me and strengthenest me.
And what?
And strengthenest me.
So if you need that strength from the Lord, that's how you get that strength from the Lord. You got to pray upon it. The strength of the Lord ain't going to come from you just doing everything that is in the commandments. You also got to pray and ask for that strength and ask for that kindness from the Lord to give you that strength. Can you give me the book of Jonah 2 and 2?
It out.
The book of Jonah, chapter 2 and verse number 2.
Bring it out.
And okay, should I start at 1?
Come on, yeah, you can start at 1.
Verse 1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his God out of the fish belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction.
What?
I cried by reason of my affliction.
So Jonah cried because of the reason of his affliction. Jonah was going through affliction while he was in the belly of the whale. So what did he do? He went and prayed towards the Lord so that he can go ahead and deliver out the belly of that whale. Go ahead and keep reading.
I cried for reason of my affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me.
And he what?
And he heard me.
Exactly. Jonah was going through that affliction, right? And he cried unto the Lord. And because he did that cry unto the Lord, which was that prayer that he did while he was in that affliction, the Lord heard him. Keep reading.
Out of the belly of hell cried I.
Out of the what?
Out of the belly of hell cried I.
See, that's a whole nother breakdown right there of what hell actually is. But out of the belly that he was in, that was an affliction for him. And that was hell that he was going through. So in order to get out of the hell that he was going through, he had to cry unto the Lord. You can rest right there, King. Bring that out to him.
Tobit chapter 12 verse 15.
Bring it out.
I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, which present the prayers of the saints.
Of what?
Which present the prayers of the saints.
So that shows right there that the holy angels are the ones that actually take your prayers up, and they actually present it to the Lord,
Right.
so that they can be heard. Without them angels being there, your prayers ain't even going to be heard.
Right.
You reading it?
Which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One. Then they were both troubled and fell upon their faces, for they feared. But he said unto them, Fear not.
Fear what?
Fear not.
Exactly. So you're not supposed to be fearing if you know that your prayers are going to be heard from the Lord.
Right.
If you know that your prayers are going to be heard from the Lord, then why do you need to fear? If you're doing everything that the Lord is asking you to do, you're praying towards the east, and you're making sure that you're praying when you're in these times of affliction, so the Lord is going to go ahead and hear your prayers, and and the angels are going to deliver your prayers to the Lord so that they can be answered.
Right.
The book of Revelation, chapter 8, and verse number 3.
Bring it out.
And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar, which was before the throne.
Before the what?
Before the throne.
Exactly. So the angels even had to give up offerings just to bring the prayers of the saints, and the saints being the Israelites,
Right.
unto the Lord. So that's another account showing you that the angels are the ones that brings the prayers unto the Lord.
Right.
Trying to keep reading.
And smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God.
Ascending what?
Ascended up before God.
So you see, the prayers of the saints are the ones that ascend up before God. So when people be like, oh, I'm gonna pray, and they're not even a saint. First of all, in order to be a saint, you gotta be an Israelite.
Right.
So how the hell are you gonna be sitting there praying towards the Lord? First of all, you ain't praying towards the east, right? The angels ain't on your side. Then on top of that, you ain't no saint. So your prayers ain't even being heard.
Right.
So you praying makes no sense. You might as well just go ahead and curl up in your bed and just go through whatever affliction you're going through. Because maybe the Lord wanted you to go through that affliction because you ain't a saint.
Right.
Go ahead and keep reading.
And the smoke of the incense which came from the prayers of the saints
she said
ascended up
178,
before God out of the angel's hands. And the angels took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it unto the earth. And there were voices and thundering and lightning and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound.
And they did what?
And prepared themselves to sound.
You see that? Because of the prayers that the saints had given to them, they prepared themselves to sound.
Right.
And when they prepared themselves to sound, you know, the Lord go ahead and made all those different things happen because of the prayers that were going on. You drop right there, King.
Sirach, chapter 35, verse 16.
Bring it out.
He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor.
He that what?
He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor.
So if you go ahead and serve the Lord, like I was saying earlier, you serve the Lord with all your heart,
Right.
and you do His commandments, then you will be accepted with favor.
Right.
So those prayers that you go ahead and pray, you know, the 3 prayers that you pray a day or more, will be accepted with favor because you're going ahead and you're doing everything that the Lord is telling you to do.
Right.
Keep reading it.
And his prayers shall reach unto the clouds.
And His prayers for what?
And his prayers shall reach unto the clouds.
So in order for your prayers, like I was saying earlier, in order for your prayers to even reach onto the clouds, them angels have to go ahead and take those prayers and deliver them up to the clouds so that the Lord can even hear them. Keep reading, King.
The prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds, until it come not. He will not be comforted and will not depart.
He will what?
He will not be comforted and will not depart.
Exactly, you see that right there? He will not be comforted and will not depart. Because you know, that comfort comes when you pray, and then on top of that too, the Lord ain't gonna depart from you if you keep it, do exactly what you need to do. And then you keep praying unto the Lord directly. Keep reading.
And will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteousness.
So what?
Till the Most High shall behold to judge righteousness.
The Most High is gonna judge righteousness. The Most High is gonna listen to your prayers. He's gonna go ahead and he's gonna judge righteousness. Depending on what your prayer is. Because there's certain prayers that you go ahead and pray, but there's certain prayers that you pray that are in vain. And if you pray prayers that are in vain, the Lord ain't gonna hear those type of prayers. So go ahead and bring that up. 18 and 20.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 18, and verse number 23.
Bring it out.
Before thou prayest, prepare thyself, and be not as one that tempteth the Lord.
And be what?
And be not as one that tempteth the Lord.
Like I was just saying, you have to prepare yourself with whatever type of prayers that you have. Because if you're just praying about any vain thing, then that means that you're tempting the Lord. You're tempting the Lord, oh, I want to pray for more money. Oh, I want to pray for you know, the white man to be saved. All types of madness. If you're praying for things like that, you're tempting the Lord to do something wicked. Well, I'm not going to say wicked because whatever the Lord does isn't wicked, but I'm going to say He's going to do something that ain't going to be in your favor.
Right.
Go ahead and bring that up.
Sirach chapter 32 verse 4.
Bring it out.
Pour not out words where there is a musician, and show not forth wisdom out of time. A concert of music and a banquet of wine is as signet of.
No, you could drop that. I don't think that's exactly what I was. Matthew 9:38. What's show you some accounts of prayers and some type of prayers that you should pray towards the Lord. Because, like I was saying, you can't just pray about anything towards the Lord. You're supposed to prepare your prayers unto the Lord. So I'm gonna show you a couple of different types of prayers that you should be praying for. That way you can get your prayers heard and they're not in vain.
Right.
This is the book of James, chapter 5, and verse number 15.
Bring it out.
And the prayer of faith shall save the sick.
In the what?
And the prayer of faith shall save the sick.
So if you have faith, right, and you're praying in that faith, then those prayers are gonna go ahead and heal the sick. Because you got a lot of people that's out there, they're sick in many different type of ways. You could be sick just in your mental, you know what I mean? Right. Having all these different doctrines in your head, sick in your head thinking that it's okay to go against the Lord, So those prayers that are being prayed for the sick will definitely be heard. Keep reading.
And the Lord shall raise him up, and if he hath committed sins, they shall be forgiven him.
And they shall be what?
And they shall be forgiven him.
So even praying for the sins, of the sick as well, even praying for the sins that you have committed, those prayers can go ahead and be forgiven.
Right.
But you have to keep praying in order for them prayers to be forgiven. Because the Lord is a merciful God, but you got to pray for those sins that has happened. You drop that right there.
Matthew chapter 9, verse 38.
Bring it out.
Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers unto his harvest.
See 9-year-olds getting
It's a lot.
I got 3 and they'll be gone by Wednesday.
James chapter 1, verse 5.
Bring it out.
If any of you lack wisdom,
If what?
If any of you lack wisdom,
let him ask of God.
Let him what?
let him ask of God.
So if anybody's lacking wisdom, because you need that wisdom and that understanding in order to, get that, when you get that wisdom and understanding, then you'll be able to, pray much better. You'll be able to fast much better. You'll be able to do what's right in the Lord much better. But you gotta have that wisdom. So one way to get that wisdom is by praying. Keep reading it.
That giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him.
And it should be what?
And it shall be given him.
So in order to get that, then you gotta keep praying. Because if you keep praying, you'll go ahead and get what you need.
But let him ask in faith.
Let him what?
But let him ask in faith.
So you gotta ask and you gotta pray in faith. You gotta have faith when you're praying. You can't be praying and then have no faith and thinking that, oh, my prayers are never being heard. My prayers are never being heard. My prayers are never being heard. That's not having faith. Having faith is go ahead and keep praying to have that hope that your prayers are being heard. Because like I said, if you're a saint, you're doing exactly what the Lord is telling you to do, you're keeping all the law, statutes, and commandments, then hey, the Lord is gonna go ahead and hear your prayers, but you have to have that faith. Keep reading it.
Nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed.
You can go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verse number 5.
Bring it out.
And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are.
Thou shalt not be what?
Thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are.
Because you got some hypocrites that, like I said, they're praying in all types of manners. They're praying about vain things, and we're gonna see exactly how them hypocrites are. Keep reading.
For they love to pray standing in the synagogues.
For they what?
Because they love to pray standing in the synagogues.
So praying standing in the synagogues is a way of showing that, you know, oh, I'm one that prays. I'm one that prays every single day. Look at me, I'm praying. That's off. You know what I mean? Those prayers should be heard by the Lord. And just like we brought out in Daniel, he went inside his house, and you know, he had the windows open facing towards the east. He was by himself when he was praying, when he was doing all those things. He wasn't sitting in the synagogue together, you know, trying to congregate and pray all together. Keep reading, King.
And in the corners of the streets.
In the what?
And in the corners of the streets.
See, that's another account just showing when you're in the corners of the streets and you're praying, everybody's passing by you. Now they all see you praying. They all can hear what you're praying about. They all can they can actually join into your prayer if they really wanted to, because you're not actually, you know, praying to the Lord in your own habitation, in your own time.
Right.
Praying together on the corner of the streets. Everybody be seeing it sometimes. You know, you see a bunch of these so-called Christians just out there standing in circles in the streets, you know, with their heads bowed down, not even facing towards the east.
Holding hands.
Yeah, holding hands and all these types of madness. And it's just like, how are y'all really praying towards the Lord thy God? Keep reading, King.
That they may be seen of men.
So they what?
That they may be seen of men.
You see that? Because they're trying to be seen. They're trying to show men that they are holy and that they are praying to the Lord, when the Lord needs to be the one that sees, and you're supposed to have that faith to pray towards the Lord, that way that your prayers can be heard.
Right.
You bring up the book of Proverbs 38.
Now,
If you bring up Matthew 26, 41.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 8.
bring it out.
Remove far from me vanity and lies.
What?
Remove far from me vanity and lies.
So people will pray towards the Lord, right? And they'll pray, like I said, for vain things. On top of that, they will put a lot of lies in their prayers. They'll sit there, hey, not having faith and praying is like lying. So if you ain't having faith and you praying towards the Lord, then you're a damn liar. Keep reading.
Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my God in vain.
And do what?
And take the name of my
my God in vain.
So you got some people who pray towards the Lord because they're poor, right? And because they ain't getting the things that they want, asking the Lord for vain things. Oh, can I get riches? Oh, can I get a new car? Oh, can I get a new house? And because it's not happening on their time, they go ahead and they start blaspheming the name of the Lord, because they ain't getting the things that they are asking for the Lord, saying, oh, the Lord ain't never hearing my prayers. The Lord's never going to hear my prayers because I've been praying all this time and I didn't get the things that I want. Maybe you never even had that faith in the beginning. Maybe it's because you haven't been doing the things that are being said of the Lord, like keeping the commandments, or maybe just because you ain't no saint. And if you ain't no saint, then how the hell is the Lord even gonna go ahead and hear your prayers anyways? Go ahead and bring that out, King.
Now you got some that do get rich. They pray to get money. They do get rich, and that riches makes them depart from the Lord.
God, yeah. Some people will go ahead and get rich, and then because they are rich now, they go, like the brother just said, they go ahead and depart from the Lord. They're like, oh, I got what I want now.
Yeah.
Now I don't need to continue to serve the Lord. Or they'll get those riches. The Lord will go ahead and they think that the Lord blessed them with that job, but that job that they get in is taking them away from the Sabbath day,
right.
Things of that nature. So they think that it's a blessing from the Lord, when actually it's actually a curse from the Lord. And, and the Lord was actually testing you to see if you was actually going to go against what He's been saying. Right. Go ahead and bring that up, King.
The book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 41.
Bring it out.
Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation.
That you what?
That ye enter not into temptation.
So you're supposed to pray that you don't enter into temptations. That's just like what I was just saying, you know? Some people will pray for a new job and they get tempted to go ahead and break the Sabbath day just because they got that new job. That's the temptation right there. Are you going to go ahead and serve the Lord? Or are you going to go ahead and get that job that's going to take you away from the Lord even more and more? People will pray for riches and get those riches. Oh, but now that you got those riches, you got to go against your own people. Are you going to go against your own people? Or are you going to go ahead and serve the Lord and be like, I don't need those riches. I can stay poor and serve the Lord, because the kingdom of heaven is the most riches that you can ever gain besides the riches on this earth.
Right.
Go ahead and bring that keep reading. Right.
The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
The flesh is what?
The flesh is weak.
So people will go ahead and do these fleshly things, right? Praying for these fleshly things and not even praying for their spirit to be delivered out of this captivity that we're in right here.
Right.
Matthew 21 and 28. That chicken. Can you give me the book?
Book of Matthew, chapter 21, verse 22.
Bring it out.
And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive.
You shall what?
Ye shall receive.
So if you pray and believe that the things that you're praying for are not in vain, and they're actually things that is actually needed, because the Lord knows everything that you actually need. So if you're praying for those things, then hey, some things will happen. It might take some time, but it will happen. It may not be in this season, may not be in the next, but it's going to happen.
And when he was come into the temple, the chief priest and all the elders of the people came unto him as he was teaching, and said, by what authority dost thou do these things? And who gave thee this authority? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, I also will ask you one thing, which if ye tell me, I in likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things.
By what?
By what authority I do these things.
See that right there? Yahushua be always using great parables, because the people keep asking him these weird questions, and he's just like, hey, if you don't understand what I'm saying, then you ain't gonna understand what the Lord is saying to you. And that's that right there. Go ahead and drop that right there. Bring that up.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, and verse number 13.
Bring it out.
Go, and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch.
The kingdom is already
Prepared for you.
Watch. So like I was saying earlier, you know, the kingdom of heaven is more important than praying for the things that are vain on this earth right here. You know, you're better off praying to get into the kingdom of heaven, praying for that wisdom and that understanding, so that you can keep the Lord's feast days, so you can keep the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments more correct, instead of praying for the things that are unwanted in this world. And with that, I say, Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah. Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah.
Hey, said I want come test me. Pick two rock with a sling, might lick off and met like a man from Jesse. Heard that they talking that big talk, lip off, which God, listen, don't vex me. I'ma stand for the Father perpetually, definitely big man, don't get chesty. Any weapon they form, don't stress me. Hey, I'm an Israelite child, no destiny. Separated, he chose and select me. In his raiment, he clothed and he dressed me. Look, without him, my soul will be empty. To the Lord of the hosts, I confess thee. I don't do this for sport or for trendies. Disrespect it'll only get messy. Yeah, they could never take hold of my faith. I'ma stand with my sword at the gate. Holiness to the Lord on the plate. See, your idols ain't holding no weight. I ain't here trying to hold no debate. See, my God ain't no soul to replace. Disrespecting and stone in your face. Look, you must be a fool to